Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So I got back from my weekend away with Ian at the Asylum Steampunk Festival yesterday afternoon. Well, late yesterday evening actually. We had to do a bit of a detour because there'd been an accident and the road had been closed, but that's by the by. While I was there at the festival, I spotted a chap leaning against a wall, and I'll put the photograph on screen now, and I couldn't resist taking his picture, because it really made me laugh. It was just stood there leaning against the wall, just kind of like looking around, and as I was taking the picture I heard somebody behind me, somebody not in costume, not there for the festival, just happened to be walking past, possibly a tourist to Lincoln, and I heard them say, "Look at that, a grown man wearing a furry mask like that." And as they walked away I just thought, well, why not? But it reminded me of a picture that I had in my stash, which was this one. So I decided today just to create a little bit of a collaged art journal page in my small bag journal. So this is the page that I did before going away, and I thought I would add that to this side of the page. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of the paper, 12 by 12 paper from the Stamperia Voyage Fantastique, and I've, well, to make the pattern fit, I've actually scanned it and printed it, reduced it down so that I can get a lot of the picture in, because it is a 12 by 12 and I wanted to have these kind of central. So I've kind of manipulated it a little bit on my computer, and I've also printed off a scanned page of these kind of clocks and dials. Again, I wanted them smaller than what they were on the page, so I've reduced them down to the right size so I can punch them out with my 2-inch circle punch. So I'm going to introduce these onto the page as well. I haven't got it to the exact size, so there will be a little bit of trimming down to do with this, but I'm pretty much going to glue it all down. It is primarily going to be a collage page, this one, with a little bit of distressing just to kind of dirty it up a little bit. Mainly because, you know, not every art journal page has to have paint on it, and not every art journal page has to have stencils on it. So, you know, it's quite acceptable to do an art journal page that is purely just cut out and collaged bits and pieces. You know, there's no policeman going to be knocking on your door saying you've not done it to the correct standard. Trust me, I know. Because if that were the case, they'd have been knocking at my door ages ago. So I'm just going to take this piece of paper. As you can see, there's the Stamperia Voyage Fantastique ones, which I still have the originals of, but because I like them so much, I don't want to cut them up. They're double-sided, so you can tell that I've actually printed this one off. So, and it's for my own personal use, which is fine. I'm not like selling copies to anybody. So I'm going to add some glue onto the back of that. We're going to do it on the front piece there, so it's going to be that one. And then I'm going to try and position it so that I've got that Bon Voyage bit right where the holes are going to go. And then just squeeze that down. I know then that I've got a little bit of, oh look at that, it's almost bang on, right on that edge there. Anybody think I planned that? Oh, likey. Right. So I need to trim that down. It's longer, just slightly longer that side, so that's fine. That's all right. So a bit of a foam. I already got a dirty brown one. Or have I already got a dirty? I have got a dirty brown one already, so that's fine. So we'll swap that. And then that's it, that's that side. And I've got some vintage photo. Water-based distress ink, it's not the archival one. Where's my trimmer? Let's just cheat and use the trimmer. But it's not really cheating, is it? It's using what you've got to hand. It's not exactly straight, but what the heck. And then I'll just trim that little bit of excess off there. I would normally use my scalpel, but I've got this mat down. So that should fit just nicely. Okay, put that to one side, grab the distress ink, load that up, and then let's just start dirtying this up a little bit. Don't mind if it's all uneven, just like grungy. Dirty! Dirty birdie. Okay. So that's dirtied that up a wee tad. Then I'm going to bring those little cogs and dials in. Just give them a little bit of a dirty it around the edges. Hello, Mr. Printer. You've suddenly woke up, have you? Okay, that one there, that one there. That one doesn't really need any, does it? It just needs to get rid of those white edges. I'm probably not going to use the whole of this one anyway. Okay, so for Mr. Foxy here, I'm not going to go around the edges with that. Instead, I'm going to use Vintage Photo Distress Marker. And then I'm just going to quickly run that round the edges just to get rid of those white marks, or the white raw edges of the paper where I've cut it. So it's another scorching hot day here in the UK. We've had 4 beautiful days over the bank holiday weekend, which is a national kind of holiday, yesterday on the Monday. So we had 4 days from the Friday. We actually went down to Lincoln on the Thursday evening or Thursday afternoon. So we've been in Lincoln since Thursday, and the weather was just unbelievably warm and hot, and not really conducive for wearing full Victorian regalia, but you know, we muddled through. On one of the days, some of the ladies turned up in Victorian bathing costumes because it was that hot. Yeah, I know. Talk about being prepared. Anyway, there we go. So I've gone round the edges, getting rid of those raw white marks. That doesn't go on there, does it? Wow, obviously the coffee's kicking in. So, first off then, I want to position him, you know where the holes are going to go, so about there, and just there. So if I position him down here, about there, I can sneak in this little cog and dial there, and then I can position these two. Now, my little slogan and thing for the page is going to go in this space here, so I am going to be covering some of it up, like these little balloons here, but where's 12? There. I think I'm going to put them there like that. So Mr. Foxy comes off, glue comes out, around the edges. Not putting any on the bit that I know is going to hang over. So where did we say? About there, wasn't it? So let's stick him down there. So I've got the cogs in. And this one. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I heard the lady say, look at that, a grown man wearing that. So, have you no joy or wonder left in your life, lady? Says she must live in a really boring world where she doesn't have foxy men like that, unicorns and fairies and dragons. I don't want to live in a world like that, thank you very much. I much prefer mine. Okay, so put glue on the back of him. And again, I've mentioned this before, I've printed these using my Epson WF2630. I'll put it on the screen. And the ink on that is a permanent ink when dry. It uses Durabright ink, which is a 16 cartridge. It's the pen and crossword on the front of the packaging, if you're wondering. So let's lift him up. That's it, drop him down about there. Love that. Love it, love it. It's a little bit light there. So I'll just bring that marker pen back in again and just go over the edge slightly, just to darken it up. That's better. It blends a bit better now. I've dropped the lid on the floor. That's me bending down to try and pick the lid up off the floor. Too old for this caper. Okay, so they should. I knew I should have put glue there. Let's get the scissors. Just trim that off now. And then just trim that one off there. And then I can come back in again. Yeah. Glue. Nasty. Right, wet wipe. Let's get rid of that glue, because otherwise I'm going to end up putting my elbow in it. Like I always do. Okay. There's ink on there, and I've just activated the ink. It's good job I spotted that. Look at the dirtiness of that. Dirty boy. Right, so I'm going to add a little bit of darkness there with the distress and a little bit more on that edge there, just because I've exposed that raw edge. We don't want that to stand out like a sore thumb, do we? No. No siree. Okay. That's better. I love it. This fox goes really well with this collection. I've had this in my collection, my digi collection, for quite some time. I've no idea where it came from. It's at least 5 years old. I've got lots of different animals, men and women, in all in costumes, badges, and you name it. Okay, so I'll put that there just to dry a little bit. So here's my little slogan that I want to add on, my little phrase for the page. Printed using the Mikey Hand font, which is my own font that I created with my own handwriting. Yeah, that is going to be my little slogan or phrase for this art journal page. So I might just want to trim that down a wee tad. I'm not particularly bothered if they're exactly square. In fact, I prefer it if they're not, to be honest. I like it when there's a little bit of wonkiness. So, but again, just using that distress ink, just go around, add in just a tad. I'll do the same thing to all of them before sticking them down. So apologies if this is a wee bit boring. And this is a sentiment I can heartily identify with. What's the fun in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes? And that was a quote directly from a Doctor Who episode. It was Tom Baker, I believe. One of the best old time doctors. Okay. A little bit of glue. It's good sometimes just to get away from paint and stencils. Do a nice little collage page. Change is as good as a rest. Variety is the spice of life and all that. There's loads and loads and loads of reasons why not to. Just do something different. So this is the Tombow Aqua Mono Liquid Glue. It's really good because it takes a while to grab, which means you've got a little bit of wiggle room before it literally grabs hold and then you can't move it. So it's perfect. And when it dries, you can just remove any excess that squidges out just by rubbing your finger on it, and it just balls up like a little bit of rubber. Yeah. I like that. Sentiment which is very dear to my heart. Yeah. So I'm now just going to grab my Pigma Micron pen. This is the PN, the one which is kind of fixed and solid. It's like a felt tip end. And I'm just going to sign that just underneath and then date it August 19. And then if I want to later, I can just go back and just add some little doodly borders. Look, I've already started now, never mind later. Started to do it now, so I might as well finish it, hadn't I? Leave that to go behind. Up again. And then I'll just go across the top quickly there. Probably won't see it, and then leave that so it goes behind, like it looks like there's a little bit more 3D going on. Stop it up there and then carry on. Yeah. So a little bit of a squidgy border. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. So not a lot of technique in that one. It's just literally cutting out, positioning and sticking down and putting an appropriate quote to the page. But like I said before, you don't have to use paper all the time. You don't always have to use paint. You don't always have to use stencils. You can take a break and do something completely different now and again. I'll pop the holes back in. And there you go. One little mini collage page in my back journal. So all I have to do now is just pop that back in. This journal's starting to fill up quite nicely, but I've still got the back page on that one to do. And that was the double page, double. So the double page spread. I did both front and back on that one. And that one was just a half, just to one side. But I like it a lot, so and I hope you enjoyed watching me put that together. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll be back very soon with another video just like this one. Bye for now. Foxy. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.